Hello. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. How are you doing? How are you doing? Welcome back on today's lesson. And by the way, you're still with Mr. Piri, who will be taking you in ICT, IT sessions, and database management. So, not to waste much of the time, uh, today we are going to proceed from where we ended. Actually, maybe we can have the link up of what we discussed from the previous topic. So last time we looked at networking. We define what a networking is. We also explain why we need a network system and how is the network being used. Okay, yeah. So we also talked about the difference between the wireless connection and the wired connection. So maybe just to remind one another, let me take you back to what we discussed in the previous topic. Okay, so all these we discussed. We talked about the switches. We define what a switch is and how a switch works. Where it says a switch, it is a central component of a network. It's built into router, or it can be a separate device. It expands the number of ports needed in network. Interconnects computer in a local network. Yes, like we also talked about the LAN, which is a local area network, then a WAN, which is a wide area network. So the difference is that a LAN, it is the type of the connection or the network system that is used in a small business, offices, or home. Okay, then a WAN is a wide area network. It's the combination of multiple LAN that come up with a wide area network WAN. Okay, which can use like the entire country or the entire organization or even the entire community. Okay, yeah. Then we also talked about the computer components, the components of the LAN, where we talk about the switch, cables, network. Yeah, so the structure of the network system, that is the network infrastructure, where we differentiate between LAN and a WAN, like I have explained. So not to waste much of the time, we can go back to our today's lesson. We also talked about the cables, where we mentioned about the twisted pair cable, then fiber optic cable. We also talked about USTP. Yeah, that is unshielded twisted pair. Unshielded twisted pair. So, sorry. Let me change the color. Okay, yeah. So it's a unshielded twisted pair. That is UTP. Then we have USTP. Then we have STP. Shielded twisted pair. So unshielded twisted pair is the one that most used in the network system, like in the homes, like in the offices. Then the one for shield twisted pair is the one that they use in the factory floor. Okay, so twisted pair comes into two categories. There is Cat5, which is 100 Mbps. Then we have a Cat6, which is 1000 Mbps. Okay, so let's proceed. So these are the cables that we're talking about, UTPS and shield twisted pair. Then we have shielded twisted pair. Okay, so let's go on to today's lesson. So last time we ended on the common Wi-Fi router. So this is the common Wi-Fi router. Okay, as you can see here, there is reset button. Sorry, it has a reset button here. This is the reset button. Okay, then we have a power connection. If I'm not mistaken, it uses a 5 volts charger. If not 5, maybe it could be 9, but not above that. Okay, then we have internet port. Then we have fast Ethernet ports. So how do you use this router? Okay, allow me to explain. So as you can see, this internet port, this one, an internet port, and these ports, their function are almost the same. What differs is that this internet port, you can use this one to receive an internet from a certain source, like it was in this previous picture. Let me get you back. Okay, allow me to take you back to a previous picture. Oh, it's not there. Okay, it's fine. It's the other topic that we discussed already, but it's okay. Let me just oh, it's here. It's here. So basic common office network setup. So this is the whole jack cable modem. So as you can see, it comes from here going to a router, then from a router it goes to the switch. Okay, so same applies to this. Same applies to this here. So this internet port you are seeing, where it's written internet port, is where the source of the internet is coming from. Then is going to connect to this internet port. Then from there, this router, it can supply internet in the form of the wireless and the wired connection. So for wired connection, there are these written fast Ethernet ports are the ones that they'll be supplying wired connection. Then for wireless, you just search the name of the router, then you enter the password. Everything they are behind of this router, the name and the password. Okay, so don't get confused when you see these ports behind there. Everything is well explained. So reset button, in a situation where you want to configure the system again, you can place on insert button 10 to 15 seconds, sometimes maybe to 30 seconds. You see the light, that is an LED light that is going to blink. Then it will give you a signal to say you have reset the device. So resetting, you can get anything that can fit that very small hole. then LED light is going to blink like 3 times or 4. Okay, so the moment you see LED light, it tells you that you have managed to reset the device. Then this is the port for power for internet receiver. Okay, then this one is for supplying an internet at the same time. Okay, these, their signal strength, okay, depending on where you are positioning them. So it's more like the ones that they search for the strong signal, okay, to have a stable connection or strong internet. Okay, let's proceed. So say common network fiber connection. Common network fiber connection. So we have fiber modem ports. So this is the telephone, then there's a desktop computer, and there's also, if I'm not mistaken, there should be maybe it's a CCTV, but it looks like another desktop. Yeah, then there is I can't read properly, that is inner optic outlet flow. Okay, then we have I can't see properly there. Okay, but what they're trying to explain in this picture is if you are a fiber customer, your modem setup should look like this. So here what they're trying to explain is that the connection of a fiber system. Okay, so as you can see, this is the fiber modem port of this device. So there's one that is going to the telephone, this part here, then another one is going to the desktop computer, again another one, okay, until to this outlet flow. Okay, so all this kind of a connection is coming from the very fiber modem ports. Okay, so in short, these are fiber ports. It helps to split the connection. Instead of just connecting to one computer, then these other devices, they will remain unconnected, of which you still need to use them. So they help to split or to expand the connection or the connectivity in order to make all the devices be online or be connected. Okay, so phone 1 here, phone 1, this port is for your PLDT telephone connection only, port 1. Then port 2, this port is not available for use. Okay, then LAN 1, that is local area network 1, this port here, this port is for your PLDT internet connection only. Then LAN 2 and 3, okay, this port is for additional PLDT value added services. Okay, VAS, value added services, or signal IPTV. Okay, then LAN 4, this port is for your signal IPTV only. Okay, so they're just explaining how you use the fiber modem ports, nothing to complicate you. Okay, so we can proceed. So here is the fiber modem. So here is what to do if you are expecting no internet connection. Okay, so in case you're using the fiber modem ports. So in case in a situation whereby you are experiencing no internet connection, here are the things that you need to do. Number one, if you are a fiber customer, follow these steps. So number one, it says we are here. Okay, so number one says turn the modem off for 5 minutes and then back on to refresh your connection. That is if you're having the disconnection of the internet. Okay, so you turn the modem off for 5 minutes and then back on to refresh your connection. So this one is more like reboot. You restart. Okay, but the difference is that when you restart, you just do it within some seconds, but with this you wait for about 5 minutes or so in order to connect or to refresh your connection. Okay, then number two, wait for the modem for sync within 3 minutes after you have refreshed. Okay, then number three, check the modem light indicators status. Okay, so on the status they are going to show you the different lights. There's one for power, for status, then for connections. If you are connected to the computer, it must be an independent light that is specifically for the from the port that you have connected to the computer. It must be indicating to showing that it is connected. Every device that you connected to the port, it must indicate. It must go on in green. Okay, so these are the things that you need to consider if you are using a fiber custom. Okay, so the lights indicate of a fiber modem should look like this if it's working properly. Okay, so these are the lights. When it is working properly, it should look like this. Okay, so here it was just a demonstration of the picture of the user, but the main concept here is on what's happening, on how you can use the fiber connection, and if you have you are facing a challenge of internet disconnection, this is what you need to do. Okay, so let's proceed. Okay, so we have common network connection problem. Okay, so here, as you can see, we have a disconnection of network. So a problem, then problem cause, and the solution. So here is the problem, cause of the problem, and the solution. So number one, no network connection. What could be the solution? LAN cable is loose. That is the cause. LAN cable is loose. Okay, then solution, reinsert LAN cable and try again. Okay, maybe LAN cable is loose, so you reinsert the local area network cable and try again. It's more like refreshing. Okay, then the number two, another cause of the problem, defective LAN cable. So you replace the LAN cable if it has defective, or maybe it has a cut, or it's loose in a sense that you cannot even once you leave it, it can't hold on its own, so you need to replace it. Another thing is switch power supply issue. plug to AC outlet. Okay, so in case you're connected to a DC, you need to check if switch power adapter is properly plugged to AC outlet. So that is the alternative current, not a DC direct current. Okay, so another problem, no internet connection. So router power adapter issue. So check if router power adapter is properly plugged to AC outlet. Then another problem caused, LAN cable is loose. Reinsert LAN cable and try again. We are here. Okay. Then internet provider issues. So call internet provider host line, where the internet providers, if you have tried to troubleshoot, to check all the connection, and you find out that everything is okay on your end, so now you are suspecting maybe the problem is coming from the service provider. So you have their contacts, you communicate with them, say, okay, on our end we have double checked, seems like all the connections are okay, we have no problem. It's giving the signals that all of our connection here, they are okay on our end. So we are kindly asking if you can check on your end as well to confirm if everything is okay. Otherwise, we lost the connection. Then you get in touch according to the feedback that the service provider, they are going to give you. Okay, yeah, so let's proceed, please. So here is preventive maintenance and basic PC care. Preventive maintenance and basic PC care. Okay, so let's get into it. So what is the preventive maintenance and basic PC care? Let's get into it. So clean me. Okay, so clean me. So one, the most of the risk factors to the computers to have maybe the issues in terms of performing, going off, maybe becoming slow. It's not only the size of the space, sometimes even the dust, it's also contributes to the performance of the computers. Okay, so we say clean me. If your computers, you keep them where there is too much dust, you don't clean them, they can cause the computers to be damaged. Okay, so make sure you keep away from dust, because once dust is in the keyboard here, you find that some of the keys at some point they will stop working because of the dust, and you'll be need to change the keyboard or replace the keyboard. When it comes to the CPU, you find that computer will be failing to go on, or it will be giving you a hard start instead of going on there and then, but you could wait, you press the button several times, you find that there is no response because of dust. Okay, so contributors to PC failure. Number one, we have excessive temperature, so you should also check the temperature. Okay, you need to put your computer at a very cool and good temperature. There are these other computers that they have fan, though every computer, it must have a fan to cool down the system, but there are some that you can definitely see the fan. There are some that you cannot see the fan when you open the computers. So you find that there is that hot air, very hot air that comes out. So when you cover that space, that part where air must pass through going outside, because inside the main idea is to make sure that the fresh air remain inside, then hot air that is now, it's more like a carbon dioxide. So inside you need oxygen, that is a fresh air. Then after it has been used, now it's going to flush out a carbon dioxide. The same way we breathe, we need a very fresh oxygen. Then after we have used it, we are going to exhale carbon dioxide, something that comes with a hot breath. Okay, so same applies to the fan. It needs a cool temperature, so dust build up. Number one is the temperature. Number two is dust build up. Like I explained, dust is one of the most risk factors to the computers to die area or fail to start. Okay. Number three is power line problem. So this issue is from the power supply. Okay. Then number four, we have corrosion. Corrosion, it also causes the computer not to start, or computer failure. Okay, so what is a corrosion? I will take you back to that is chemistry. Yes, chemistry in grade 10 to 12, somewhere there. So corrosion, it's more like rust. Okay, I'll put it in this way to make you understand. So you find that maybe where you put your computer, there was moisture. Okay, or maybe by accident you pour water on the keyboard of the laptop or desktop or in the CPU. Then after some times, maybe you try to clean or you did not pay attention, then water dried off on the keyboard or on the motherboard. So what will happen now, you find that those components that are connected to the motherboard, once they are encroached or they are corrosion, they have rust, meaning they won't be able to have a successive connection or communication. So you find that when you try to switch on the computer, you could only see some certain lights to indicate that the machine is receiving power, but it cannot go on because of the same rust. So you need to make sure that the computer is far away from any sort of fluid, maybe water, drinks, or anything that is in the form of fluid. Okay. Then number 5, that is magnetic field. Okay, so you make sure that you keep a computer far away from the magnetic field. Okay, so let's proceed. Basic preventive maintenance. So number 1, tips, basic preventive maintenance. Basic preventive maintenance. So number 1, eliminate source of dust in the room and checks surface for dust accumulation. Eliminate source of dust in the room and checks surface for dust accumulation. As you can see in this figure here, they are trying to clean the personal computer, a laptop. Okay. Then number 2, keep your PC dust free inside and outside. Okay, So you make sure that your computer is ever clean inside and outside without dust. Okay, then that is number 2 or number 3. Clean your computer system unit using paintbrush and or dry soft cloth. Clean your computer system unit using paintbrush and or dry soft cloth. So these are the things that you can use to clean the computer system unit. Okay, then keep the cooling vents clear, where I said where that hot water comes from. You need to clear that space, don't cover it. So you find that when you get the laptop, maybe you put on the cloth, so and the computer is covered almost everywhere, you underneath, so you find that the computer will start now producing abnormal sound, because there's no space for the hot air to come out. So as a result, the computer is working tirelessly. The components inside are very hot, they are not living, it needs the space to breathe. Now you have closed almost everywhere, so the computer will start now producing abnormal sound, or it will start performing very slow because it's too hot. Every part is working tirelessly, it's not breathing, it needs fresh air, but it's not coming in because you have covered everywhere, so the fan is not functioning properly. Okay, then number 5, arrange and secure all cables and fixed position in a fixed position. So arrange and secure all cables in a fixed position. Okay, so these are the basic preventive maintenance in order to make sure that your computer is very safe. Okay, so let's proceed. Get started with the computer maintenance. Get started with the computer maintenance. So we're here now. Start with point number 1. Organize files and folders. Okay, organize files and folders. If you save all your files in a single folder, it can quickly become cluttered. Okay, so let's see here. We have recycle bin, explorer, empty recycle bin. Okay, then number 2, delete files you don't need anymore to prevent your computer from running out of storage space. It's a good idea to remove files that you no longer need. Okay, so on point number 1, organize files and folders. So meaning you need to put things in order, not to have a scattered information inside your computer. So it is hard even to find the document that you want, because you find that on the desktop there you have a lot of files. So when you have an emergency, you're looking for a file which you need to send to an email in less than 10 minutes or maybe 3 or 2 minutes, then you take the whole day searching the file in your computer because your data is mixed. Where there is some songs, there are also some documents, there are some videos, there are some films, there are some pictures, a lot of things. They are mixed, there are some softwares, so it is hard for you to select the document. There are some of the documents that you did not rename, you downloaded them on the internet, the way they are, the way you got them. So when you are searching maybe a document for an employment, in your mind you are looking for a document related to employment, but that document is saved untitled. You see where the problem comes from. You are looking for a document that is written employment, but that document that's not how it is saved. It is saved untitled. So all this is the time wasting as well as making the computer looking so disorganized. Okay, so delete files. You always delete the files, make sure that the recycle bin is empty, because those files that you know that you no longer need them, when we say delete, if you know that this file I might need it in future, it is okay to keep it. No wonder we install in the hard drive. You store for future use. But if you no longer need that information, make sure you delete that data or that files. So you give space to the computer to perform very, very well. Okay? So that's why it says delete files you don't. Let me use the cursor. It has been a while since I used the cursor. Okay, white. Okay, so delete files you don't need anymore in order to prevent your computer from running out of storage space. It could a good idea to remove files that you no longer need. So you know, when you run out of space, a computer needs to have a space of not less than 50 GB most of the time to keep your computer running or operating very fast. If your hard drive is full, then you are going to have also challenges with the performance of the computer. It's not only the issue of the RAMs, processor, or dusting. No. Or viruses. No. Sometimes if the space that you have is very small, in a sense that you cannot even save maybe 3 songs, then your computer is like to start misbehaving or misperforming according to the way it used to perform when it was new, when it had empty without a lot of files inside it. Okay, so let's proceed, please. Let's proceed. Remove programs you don't need anymore. Unusual programs waste space and can slow down your computer, like I explained already. Yeah, so you need to remove all the programs that you don't need. It can be the software that you no longer use, and you don't think there will be anyone who will need it anytime soon. So you delete those programs, unless that file you purchase it and you think I will still need it in the future. It is okay to save, but where you no longer need it anymore, or maybe 20 to 25 years, 10 to 15, 5 to maybe 7 years, you no longer need to use the same program or software. Why keeping it then? It's okay to delete it. When you need it, you can still find it to the source where you got it. Yeah, so let's proceed, please. Make your computer more secure. Install antivirus software here. Okay, sorry. Yeah, here. Install the virus software. Make sure your computer has the virus protection. So when you talk about the viruses, the virus, it is the malicious program that once it enters into the computer, it alters the information or the files that are in your computer system or hard drive. Okay? So once the virus enters into the computer, maybe, for instance, we have types of the viruses. We have boot virus, Trojan horse virus. Yeah, so you find that you have the virus in your computer. So within a day, it can manage, or not even a day, within maybe some hours, it can manage to destroy all of your files. When you try to open the file, it will fail to open and supported format. You try to play a video, failed to pay, unsupported formats. So a lot of notifications will start popping up on your computer screen because of the viruses. So someone can ask you, where does the virus comes from? So a virus, you can get a virus on the internet as you are downloading the softwares. You can also get the virus through the data sharing. You get the USB flash, you insert it on your computer port, then you transfer that data, or you copy that information into your computer. The files that you get, you don't know that they have the viruses. So now the same virus will affect your computer. Okay? The same way we live. You are just okay early in the morning, then you go somewhere maybe to see your friend. On your way, you are in the bus, then you sit next to someone who has flu, so you find that is an airborne disease. Then maybe that person, when he was coughing, could not protect him or herself, and you have also infected, you have the flu as well. So you find that your body now, instead of continue working normally the way it was early in the morning or the previous days, you start feeling headache. After some times, you start feeling maybe nose are very heavy, loss of appetite. 2-3 days you start sneezing, feeling cold, then you discover that you have flu. Okay, so it's the same way of the virus. You can be okay without knowing that where you're going to meet with someone who is contaminated, and you also be affected. Maybe you are going to an area where they have served you food that was not properly, nicely prepared, and you have maybe a diarrhea or a dysentery. Then it has disturbed the way you were thinking, or the way you are before you could go to that place. So the same applies to the computers. You can download the files from the internet, then without knowing that it has the virus, you can get the data from someone that has the virus. For as long as you did not scan, then you also have the viruses. So if your computer is protected with the antivirus software, what will happen is this: once you insert any flash or anything that has the viruses, except in the phone or from the phone, it's hard to detect. But when you insert something like the memory card and the hard drive as well as the disk, most of the times it's very easy to detect the virus. You insert the flash, that flash will not read or load in your computer. It will be hard to read on your computer. It will pop, there will be a notification below the corner of your computer on the left hand side. When you check, it will show you like something like, please, maybe the virus has been detected, please scan the USB flash before in use. So meaning you need to scan that the USB flash or memory card before it can be in use. So it's going to broke. But if you did not have an antivirus installed in your computer, you are going to have the challenge whereby every virus or every USB flash that has virus is going to accept and copy the information without knowing. At the end, you find that maybe you can get the virus today. You could discover it in 3 months' time, and it will be hard for you to target, say, okay, where did I get this virus? Because you have moved, you have collected different USB flashes, and you have inserted to your laptop or computer. At the end, your computer has the viruses as well. So make sure you put the antivirus inside your computer. Okay, let's proceed, please. Install anti-spyware software. make sure you install Antispyware software. So Antispyware software is a software that helps you to those that they want to spy your computer. They want to do certain things that you are not even aware of. So by installing those softwares, they can help you to keep your computer very safe and well protected. Because Antispyware software, someone can create something like a link, but in the actual sense it is a virus that will damage your computer in order for them to have access to certain information in your system. So you make sure that your computer is protected, because people they create, it's more like a link that will pop up on the screen. Please update antivirus, this and that. It's good, it cleans the system on its own. So you try to click on that software, or that notification is going to take you somewhere, maybe to certain things that you cannot even understand. By the time you come back, someone has already hacked your system or your computer and will start doing things without you noticing. Okay? Back up your computer. So you always need to back up your computer. You update your computer every time you update your computer. Every time you update your computer to make sure that it is very safe. Okay? So let's proceed, please. I hope you are clear and you have understood everything here. Let's proceed. So do's and don'ts for your computer safety. So the things that you can do and the things that you cannot do for your personal computer safety. Okay? Yeah. So number one here, I'll start with the tips. Okay. So tips: do shut down properly when you wish to turn off system. Use proper shutdown procedure. What does it mean? I'll repeat. Do shut down properly when you wish to turn off system. Use proper shutdown procedure. So I have noticed most of us, not me, because I learned, but even back then, before I could even start using these computers devices, because I started learning computer when I was grade 7, and that was the time I had much interest in working with the devices. So I had to learn these things before I could become more familiar with the devices. I started with the knowledge. Luckily enough, the class that I was in, even the teacher that we had, Mr. Shingende, yeah, it's a very nice teacher. He's the one who puts much interest, like in us, but particularly me, to start loving the devices or technology, in short, computer thingy. So could teach us how you can start a computer, how you can switch on, how you can reboot, all those things. So I learned these things before I could become more familiar with the computer devices. Okay, but most of people, what they do, once they are done using the laptop or the desktop or any computer, they will go direct to place on the power button. So that power button is not for switching off the computer in a right way. No, I'll repeat. The power button, as you can see, like I have said, a power button is for turning on a computer. Okay? But in a situation whereby your computer maybe has stopped working, it has freeze, you can't do anything, you try to move a mouse, it's not commanding, it's not doing anything. You try to use the command keys like Control Alt plus Delete, Control plus Alt plus delete, then nothing is happening. You can use that power button to switch off your computer. That is now in force. You are forcing it to go off. You see, it has freeze. You can't do anything. The mouse is not moving. You try to use the command keys, Control plus Alt plus delete. Manage task is not coming up. Nothing that is working. So you force it by you holding the button. You don't just press once. You hold for about 5 to 10 seconds. That's when your computer will respond and will go off. Okay, so you can see that is not a right way to switch off the computer. So a normal way to switch off your computer is by going on the home button. Then home button, you go on start. On start, you go on the power. On the power, there is where it's written restart. Then shut the start. Then sleep and shut down. So since you want to switch it off, you go on shut down. So on shut down, it's going to ask you, in case there are some certain files or document or any page that you open, then you did not close. It's going to ask you, are you sure you really want to shut down? So all these programs will stop. Then you say switch off anyway. After you have read the notification and you have agreed to switch it off, then your computer will shut down slowly, bit but sure, until it turns off in a right way. Not whereby you hold the button. That one is not a normal switching off. It's a forcing button. Okay, so once you use that button, for those of you that you have computers, try to do this. You hold that button you hold it, then it goes off, you switch it on, you hold. The time you want to switch it on, it will take time for it to go on. It will start with maybe system update. It will count from 1 up to 100, then system repair. From there, it will do all the certain tests that need to be done. After it's done, that's when it will go on. It is the sign to tell you that you did not switch on your computer in a right way. Okay? Yeah, so that's the thing. We are going to proceed. Back up your computer important document or data regularly. So make sure you back up your computer and your important document regularly. Every time you back up, you know what it means to back up. You always have the backup of your data in case of data loss. An hard drive can crash, so you need to make sure that your hard drive is partitioned, whereby you separate the operating system side and where you will be keeping the information. Using one hard drive, you divide it into 2 parts. You can get, maybe if it is the 500 GB, you can divide maybe 250 for operating system, then the other 250 for your information. Or you can get maybe maybe 200 GB or 180 for an operating system, then the rest for information. Okay, to avoid data loss, because the files that you keep on the desktop, once the computer crashed or the operating system crashed, it will be hard for you to retrieve that data unless you start now using the different softwares, install them to retrieve data, this and that. It's a kind of a process to retrieve information in a such of circumstances. Okay, so let's proceed, please. So delete unnecessary files. Keeping unnecessary files consume memory space and unwanted application which slow down systems. Okay, I have already explained on this one. Performance by consuming more memory RAM, random access memory. So you make sure that you free up a space, more especially those unwanted files, to create a space for the computer to continue performing normally. Okay, So do verify that your PC is protected against electrical surges by using UPS or surge. So you need to make sure that your computer is connected with the power saver or a backup power. More especially those of you that you work in the stationaries, in the offices, you make sure that your computer is also have the backup power in case power goes off unexpected. So when you have power outage, you need to have a backup to gives you time to save your information or data that you are working on. You remember last time when I was explaining on the UPS stand for uninterrupted power saver. Uninterrupted power saver. So it's more like a power bank, the one you use to charge your phone in a situation whereby you have outage of power. As you are waiting for the power to be restored, then you use the power bank. But in this case, we don't use the power bank, we use the UPS. What differs is the name and the size of the watts. Okay? Yeah. So make sure you have the backup plan for your computers so that once power goes off, you still have at least 20 to 30 minutes to organize your files and to save your data before you can lose it, because the RAM, once computer goes off, it doesn't have a memory to save data that it did not save. Okay? Sure. So let's proceed. Keep your computer operating in a cool and dust-free environment. We have explained there. So this is what it means when you say the do's and don'ts for your computer safety. Okay, so do's and don'ts for your computer safety. We are here again. Another tips. Don't obstruct the air inlets and outlets. Leave some space between computer and the wall. I explained this one where I said where you put your computer on the cloth or it's covered everywhere. There is no space for the fresh air to get inside the computer, and for the hot, the one that has already worked wants to come out. Then you find that the computer is covered everywhere. Then it will be hard for a computer to work nicely because there's no inlet air and outlet air. Okay, so I think here I cannot spend much time because I've already explained. We can proceed, please. I will say don't do anything inside the computer unless you know what you are doing and you're authorized to do so. So make sure that you don't do anything, more especially when it's not your computer. If your job is to type, you focus on your work, you focus on your task, more especially if it's not your computer. You are just using for somebody else. It can be at the internet cafe. You concentrate on your work part, because you may do something that you are going to disturb or to lose the data that is in that computer. For instance, maybe there are some open files. You just found a computer that is on, then you start now opening the files. Oh, not even opening, sorry. You start closing the document. Some of the document did not save. Some of the pages were just open. Maybe was getting something, was downloading some programs or softwares. At the end, you find that you have closed important updates. So as a result, the owner is going to complain. So it is the best not to do so, more especially if you are not taught to do so. Please, let's proceed. Do not smoke, drink, or eat near your computer. Keep away from dust, keep away from water, keep away from heat. This is what they are talking about. So I think here is clear. Do not smoke. It doesn't need dust, doesn't need smoke, doesn't need heat. Do not drink. In case you are drinking, Freud, I've mentioned about that. A computer doesn't need any form of water or fluid. Don't eat. You know what it means when say don't eat. You may be eating near the computer, so you find that maybe the food that you are eating, you don't know that some of the particles or some of the food that you are eating is getting into the keyboard or CPU. As a result, the computer will have the oil, cooking oil. So all this, it will make a computer to have a corrosion or have rust. As a result, your computer will not perform very well and will start giving you problems when turning it on. Please, let's proceed. Don't download unknown software from the internet. There are some certain softwares, like I explained, where he said put antivirus, put anti-spyware software. So these notifications, they do pop up. Maybe they want to hack your system. It's a virus. Once it enters into your computer, it starts now misbehaving. It starts spy your files, your document, the message, the communication, all the things that you do at your organization. It will start now spy everything. So make sure you do not click or download any software that can pop up on your computer screen. Okay, let's proceed. Do not open unexpected email attachment. It's the very thing as well. Do not open unexpected unless you know. So you need to be very conscious, smart as you are working with the computers, because these are the things that you'll be counting. Okay, sure. So here's the desktop PC most common problem and the solutions. So for now, we are going to end here. In the next lesson, we'll look at the desktop or personal computer most common problems and the solutions. Okay, so thank you very much for your time, and please make sure that you study the notes as well as the explanation, so that when we meet during the live class, when you have questions, please feel free to ask. Where you do not understand, take note of the points. Then during the live class, when we meet, you can ask the questions so that we can explain nicely. Otherwise, thank you very much. Let's meet in the next class, and please don't forget to like and comment. It also gives us the clear picture of how many people that have attended the class through your comments and your likes. Okay, bye and love you all. See you in the next class.